The moment you stop reacting, people begin to lose their power over you. Most people don't realize this. Every time you explain yourself, defend yourself, argue back, or try to prove your worth, you are quietly handing someone the remote control to your emotions. And the dangerous part is, they may not even deserve that much access to you. Stoicism teaches a hard truth. Your strength is not measured by how loudly you respond, but by how calmly you remain when something inside you wants to break. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Stoic Hypnosis channel. In this video, you will learn why reacting less can make you more powerful, more respected, and more emotionally untouchable. You will discover how silence, self-control, and emotional discipline can change the way people see you, but more importantly, the way you see yourself. Because sometimes the strongest answer is no answer at all. Now, let's get started. Part 1. Every reaction is a gift of power. One of the greatest illusions people live under is believing they must respond to everything. Someone criticizes you, and you feel the urge to defend yourself. Someone misunderstands your intentions, and you rush to explain. Someone insults you, and your mind immediately begins preparing the perfect comeback. It feels natural. It feels justified. But what if every reaction is actually a quiet confession that someone else has gained control over your inner world? The Stoics understood something that most people spend their entire lives learning too late. They knew that emotional reactions are expensive. Every unnecessary argument steals your peace. Every attempt to convince someone who has already chosen not to understand you drains your strength. Think about the people who truly intimidate others, not because they are loud, but because they remain calm when everyone else loses control. Their silence creates uncertainty. Their composure creates respect. Their patience creates power. The world expects instant reactions. Social media rewards outrage. Modern culture encourages people to answer immediately, defend themselves constantly, and fight every battle. But wisdom whispers something completely different. Not every accusation deserves a defense. Not every insult deserves an answer. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself that other people's actions belong to them, but your response belongs to you. That simple distinction changes everything. When you stop allowing every comment to dictate your emotions, you become difficult to manipulate. People can no longer predict you. They can no longer provoke you with ease. And when they lose access to your emotions, they lose much of their influence over your life. Real strength begins the moment you realize that your peace is worth more than winning an argument. Part 2. Silence reveals. What words never can most people believe? Silence is a sign of weakness. They assume that if you do not defend yourself, you must be guilty. If you do not argue back, you must have lost. If you walk away instead of fighting, they think you are afraid. But life has a strange way of exposing the truth. The older you become, the more you realize that silence is often the language of people who have nothing left to prove. There comes a moment in every mature person's life when they understand that not every misunderstanding needs to be corrected. Some people have already decided who you are long before they ever listen to you. No amount of explanation will change a mind that has chosen judgment over understanding. So why exhaust yourself trying? Stoicism teaches that your character is built by your actions, not by your arguments. If someone truly wants to know who you are, time will reveal it. If they don't, your words will never be enough. This is one of the hardest lessons to accept because the human ego craves validation. We want people to understand us. We want them to see our good intentions. We want to clear every false accusation and repair every damaged opinion. But chasing approval is like chasing the horizon. No matter how far you run, it keeps moving away. Instead, let your consistency speak. Let your discipline speak. Let your peace speak. People eventually notice the person who remains calm while others create chaos. They begin to wonder why criticism never seems to shake you, why insults never pull you into pointless battles, why you continue moving forward while others remain trapped in endless conflicts. That quiet confidence becomes impossible to ignore. Remember, silence is not pretending that pain doesn't exist. Silence is choosing not to let pain decide your next move. When your emotions stop leading your decisions, your wisdom finally begins to take the lead. And that is the moment you become stronger than the version of yourself that once needed everyone to understand you. Before we continue, take a moment to ask yourself one honest question. How many times have you lost your peace trying to win an argument that was never worth having? If this message speaks to something you've experienced, let me know by writing "peace over reaction" in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you're on a journey to build a calmer mind, stronger character, and an unshakable life through Stoic wisdom, make sure to subscribe and join this community. Now, let's continue, because the next lesson may completely change the way you deal with difficult people forever. Part 3. The people who control you are the ones who can predict you. There is a question very few people ever ask themselves. Why do certain people keep provoking you? Why do they know exactly which words will make you angry? Which comments will make you defensive? Which accusations will keep you awake at night? The answer is uncomfortable, because somewhere along the way, they learned your emotional pattern. They know that if they criticize you, you'll explain yourself. If they ignore you, you'll chase them. If they insult you, you'll fight back. Without realizing it, you've become predictable. And predictability is easy to manipulate. The Stoics believed that true freedom begins when your emotions no longer belong to other people. Imagine how different your life would feel if no insult could steal your peace, no rejection could destroy your confidence, and no opinion could change the way you see yourself. That kind of strength isn't built overnight. It is built every single time you choose restraint over impulse, every time you refuse to answer an unnecessary argument, every time you allow silence to replace anger, every time you remind yourself that protecting your inner peace is more important than protecting your ego. This doesn't mean becoming cold or emotionless. It means refusing to let temporary emotions make permanent decisions. Think of the ocean during a storm. The surface is violent. The waves crash endlessly, but deep beneath, the water remains calm, untouched by the chaos above. Most people live on the surface. Every opinion becomes a wave. Every criticism becomes a storm. Every disappointment shakes their identity. The Stoic learns to live in the depths. He still feels disappointment. He still experiences anger. He still carries pain. But he no longer allows those emotions to take the wheel. That is why calm people often appear mysterious. Others cannot predict them. They cannot provoke them. And because they cannot control their reactions, they eventually lose the desire to control them at all. The greatest victory is not proving someone wrong. It is becoming so emotionally grounded that their attempts to disturb you simply no longer work. That is when you discover a rare kind of freedom, one that no person can give you and no person can ever take away. Part 4. The day you stop needing the last word. One of the most liberating moments in life arrives quietly. Not when you become richer, not when people finally respect you, not when the world begins treating you fairly. It arrives the day you no longer feel the need to have the last word. For years, many people waste enormous amounts of energy trying to correct every misunderstanding, answer every criticism, and convince everyone that they are good enough. But here's the painful truth. Some people are committed to misunderstanding you, not because you failed to explain yourself, but because your explanation was never what they wanted. They wanted a reaction. They wanted to see frustration in your eyes. They wanted proof that they still had access to your emotions. And every time you gave it to them, you unknowingly rewarded their behavior. The Stoics understood that attention is a form of currency. Where your attention goes, your life follows. If you constantly invest your attention in people who disrespect you, you slowly become a prisoner of their opinions. You begin measuring your worth by how they respond. Your mood rises when they approve of you. It falls when they criticize you. Without noticing, you have handed them authority over a life that was never theirs to control. Real maturity begins when you reclaim that authority. You stop asking, "How do I make them understand me?" Instead, you ask, "Why do I need them to?" That single question changes everything. Because the need for constant validation is often rooted in fear, the fear of rejection, of being misunderstood, of not being enough. But the strongest people eventually discover that self-respect grows in silence. It grows every time you walk away from a pointless conflict, every time you refuse to chase someone who is determined to leave, every time you choose dignity over drama. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent to people. It means becoming deeply committed to your own peace. You realize that not every door deserves another knock. Not every relationship deserves another explanation. Not every battle deserves another soldier. Sometimes the greatest act of courage is not speaking louder. It is quietly closing the chapter, protecting your peace, and continuing your journey without looking back. Because the day you stop needing the last word is the day your life finally stops being written by other people's opinions and starts being written by your own character. Part 5. Your greatest power is invisible. In the end, the strongest people are rarely the loudest. They don't need to announce their confidence. They don't waste their days proving their value, and they certainly don't fight every battle placed in front of them. Their greatest strength is invisible. It lives in the pause before they speak. It lives in the calm expression they wear when others expect anger. It lives in the quiet decision to protect their peace instead of satisfying their pride. Most people spend their lives trying to control the world around them. They want people to behave differently. They want circumstances to become easier. They want life to stop being unfair. But the Stoics chose a different path. They understood that the only lasting victory is mastering the person in the mirror. The moment you stop expecting the world to protect your peace, you begin protecting it yourself. You become less offended, less anxious, less desperate to be understood. Not because life becomes easier, but because you become stronger. You start noticing something remarkable. The insults that once haunted your thoughts begin to lose their weight. The rejection that once shattered your confidence becomes a lesson instead of a wound. The opinions that once controlled your emotions become nothing more than passing echoes. This transformation is quiet, no applause, no celebration, no audience. Yet it is one of the greatest victories a human being can achieve, because emotional mastery cannot be taken from you. Money can disappear. Status can fade. Relationships can change. Even health can decline. But a disciplined mind remains your greatest refuge through every season of life. So the next time someone tries to provoke you, pause before you react. Ask yourself a simple question. Will this matter a year from now? Most of the time, the answer will be no. And in that single moment of awareness, you reclaim a piece of your freedom. Remember this. People may control your circumstances. They may misunderstand your intentions. They may even speak against your name, but they cannot control your inner world unless you hand them the key. Guard that key carefully, because the quieter your ego becomes, the louder your strength will speak, and the less you react to the noise around you, the more unshakable you become within. Conclusion. The world will always be noisy. There will always be people who misunderstand you, criticize you, provoke you, or try to pull you into battles that were never meant to be yours. You cannot control their words, their opinions, or their actions. But you can always choose the condition of your own mind. That is the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. Every moment you refuse to react impulsively, you become a little stronger. Every time you protect your inner peace instead of your ego, you reclaim a piece of your freedom. And over time, those small moments of self-control shape a life that no outside chaos can easily shake. The lesson is simple but life-changing. True power is not found in controlling other people. It is found in controlling yourself. The next time life tests your patience, don't ask, "How should I respond?" Instead, ask, "Is this worth my peace?" That single question can change your relationships, your decisions, and ultimately, your entire life. If this video gave you a new perspective, I invite you to become part of this growing community. Subscribe to the channel and join us as we continue exploring the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, emotional mastery, self-discipline, and inner strength. Your support not only helps this channel grow, it inspires us to keep creating meaningful content that can help more people build calmer minds and stronger lives. Thank you for taking the time to watch until the end of the video. See you in the next videos.